From the moment Sony Pictures Animation officially entered the animation space in 2005, they were just another studio trying to make a name for themselves. They had some solid titles over the years, but the real turning point did not arrive until December 2018. That was when Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse hit cinemas, and it felt like a meteor had just crashed into the animation world. The film was more than a hit. It was a full-scale creative earthquake that shook every corner of the industry. People were dazzled by its unique visual style, and by the way it breathed new life into a superhero so familiar yet suddenly brand new. It was the kind of film that made even the most established animation giants stop and take notes. What makes Sony's rise so fascinating is that they do not play by the safe and predictable rules. While other studios polish and refine formulas that already work, Sony seems to thrive in chaos and experimentation. They play with style, tone, and technology in ways that feel risky and rebellious. Whether it is the graffiti-soaked streets of Brooklyn in Spider-Verse or the wonderfully absurd family chaos of the Mitchells versus the Machines, their films carry a raw energy and honesty that makes them instantly stand out. Watching a Sony animated film feels like hanging out with that friend who always has the most outrageous ideas but somehow makes them work every time. The secret behind this creative explosion is a mix of technical brilliance and an authentic storytelling voice. Sony has figured out how to use technology not just as a tool but as a character in itself. In Spider-Verse, they pulled off the seemingly impossible by blending the visual feel of comic books with cutting-edge computer animation. The result was a film that looked like it was pulled straight from the pages of a living, breathing graphic novel. Every frame felt layered and tactile, and it gave audiences an experience they had never seen before. This was not just pretty animation, it was an entirely new way of telling a story on screen, and it raised the bar for what animated films could be. It is not just creative glory either. Sony's gamble on bold ideas has paid off handsomely at the box office. Spider-Verse became the highest grossing animated film in the studio's history, raking in more than $190 million domestically. This success gave Sony the confidence to push forward with even bigger projects. The Hotel Transylvania series has also been a major contributor to their financial success. Its mix of humor, heart, and monster-themed charm kept audiences coming back for sequel after sequel. Sony has managed to balance artistic risk-taking with commercial appeal, which is one of the hardest tricks in the industry to pull off. Another thing that gives Sony an edge is their remarkable ability to build lasting franchises rather than just scoring the occasional one-time hit. In the animation world, that is no small feat. Many studios can create a single great film that makes a splash, but far fewer can keep audiences invested beyond that first spark. What sets Sony apart is their knack for creating rich worlds and memorable characters that audiences want to revisit over and over again. It is not just about telling a story once. It is about building a universe that feels alive long after the credits roll. Whether it is the web-slinging adventures of their superheroes, the chaotic charm of their quirky animated families, or the playful energy of their friendly monster ensembles, Sony's lineup feels diverse without losing its sense of identity. Each series offers something unique, yet there is a common thread of creativity and warmth that ties them together. They know how to keep things fresh with new ideas and visual twists, while still delivering the comforting familiarity that keeps fans coming back. It is a delicate balancing act that not every studio can manage, and it reflects a clear strategy for long-term success. One of the most exciting things about Sony's approach is how they play with different styles and genres. Many studios find a visual formula and stick to it like glue, but Sony seems to treat each film as a completely new artistic challenge. They have explored everything from two-dimensional and three-dimensional animation to computer-generated work inspired by stop motion. They have even begun to dive into adult-themed animation, proving that they are not afraid to break away from the idea that animation is only for kids. This willingness to experiment keeps their catalog unpredictable and vibrant, making them a studio that animation fans actively look forward to watching. The move toward adult animation could be one of Sony's most daring shifts yet. With projects like Black Knights directed by Genndy Tartakovsky, the studio is showing that it is ready to push the boundaries of what mainstream animation can be. This is more than a stylistic choice. It is a deliberate step into storytelling that tackles themes and tones far beyond the traditionally family-friendly space. By embracing more mature narratives, Sony is positioning itself to reach audiences who may not usually engage with animated films. This expansion has the potential to change the way animation is perceived in popular culture, breaking away from the notion that it is a medium meant only for children. If this strategy succeeds, it could open up an entirely new segment of the market, giving Sony even more room to experiment while solidifying its place as one of the most versatile players in the industry. Part of Sony's success also comes from smart collaboration across their sister companies. By aligning creative goals and sharing technological advancements, they have created a workflow that keeps them ahead of the curve. This is not just about having talented animators, but about having a system where ideas and technology move seamlessly between teams. That kind of synergy means they can take creative risks without losing efficiency, which allows them to keep their momentum from one project to the next. That being said, the road has not been completely smooth. Even with all their success, Sony has faced challenges that remind us just how unpredictable the film industry can be. The much anticipated sequel Beyond the Spider-Verse verse has faced unusually long delays, frustrating fans who are eager to see the story continue. While these setbacks are inevitable in filmmaking, they do highlight how delicate the balance between creativity and logistics can be. Fans are still hopeful, and Sony's track record suggests they will find a way to deliver something worth the wait. Looking at their journey as a whole, Sony Pictures Animation has evolved from a relatively quiet player in the animation space into one of the boldest and most influential forces shaping the industry today. Their rise is not the result of one lucky breakthrough, but rather the product of a consistent philosophy that places innovation at the heart of everything they do. They have shown that creativity does not need to be a rare spark that happens once in a while. It can be a constant driving force that shapes every frame, every project, and every risk they are willing to take. This approach has allowed them to consistently surprise audiences with fresh ideas, striking visuals, and stories that resonate on multiple levels. They are not simply following industry trends, they are actively rewriting the rules, changing the way animated stories are told, presented to audiences, and growing into enduring franchises. By combining technical artistry with bold narrative choices, they have proven that animation can be more than entertainment. It can be a cultural force that inspires, challenges, and pushes boundaries. This transformation has placed Sony firmly among the most daring storytellers of our time, and their influence continues to grow. Their approach is as much about energy as it is about art. You can feel the excitement in their work, whether it is a superhero swinging through a neon cityscape or a family road trip spiraling into hilarious chaos. Sony has tapped into the magic that happens when technology and heart are perfectly balanced. It is the reason their films resonate so deeply with audiences and why their influence is spreading across the industry. Other studios are now experimenting with more daring visual styles and narrative structures, a clear sign that Sony's success has sparked a wave of change. The studio's willingness to push limits while keeping an eye on broad audience appeal is what makes their story so compelling. They are not content to simply compete with the established animation giants. Instead, they are carving out their lane, filled with bold colors, strange angles, and a storytelling spirit that refuses to play it safe. It is a strategy that feels more like a creative revolution than a business plan, and it is working spectacularly. At a time when some feared the animation industry was becoming predictable, Sony Pictures Animation has injected it with a shot of adrenaline. They have shown that there is room for wild experimentation, emotional depth, and technical artistry to coexist in a way that feels fresh and exciting. They have turned the idea of animation domination into a living, breathing reality, and they are showing no signs of slowing down. So when people talk about the future of animated films, Sony is no longer the quiet contender in the background. They are the ones setting the pace, proving that sometimes the biggest wins come from taking the biggest risks. They have not just entered the game, they have changed it entirely, leaving behind a trail of vibrant colors, unforgettable characters, and a level of creative ambition that makes the whole industry take notice. And judging by the momentum they have right now, the most exciting part is that they are only getting started. With that, we've come to the end of today's video. Thank you for watching till the end. What do you think of Sony's rise so far? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in our next episode.